Hi, this is Dee Sanchez from Scrappy Gamer DDS, and this is another share video. I am going to talk about a couple things, and I have a few questions to throw out there. So basically, I am finally finished with a little bit of a Project Life pocketed scrapbooking project that I did. We went on a trip to a dude ranch, and I had a crop. I've been trying to get more people crafty with me, come over to my place, and I've been putting it out there with paper pumpkin and talking about the Stamping Up stuff. And I just basically threw it out there. A few women came. I got started on this yesterday, and so I was up all night and I finished. It doesn't seem like a lot when I show it to you, but it took forever, so I learned a few things. But anyway, so basically I have used 4 pages. So I did 4 front to back pages of Project Life style. I'm gonna say Project Life style because these happens to be We Are Member Keepers pocket pages, and oddly enough I didn't really use any Project Life cards, and I have a ton of them. I did a few swaps with people through some of the Facebook groups, and you know, it's just weird. Anyway, so first off, I'll tell you a little bit about what this is about. We did a trip to Pinegrove. I'm not a big outdoorsy person. We went to a dude ranch, and I have a 6-year-old daughter, so I wanted to do something for her, and my best friend has 2 7-year-old girls, so we just took the leap and we all decided to head on down. And I'm just reaching over for something, which is, I have a bunch of notes over here on the side of what I want to talk about. And so I decided I wanted to lay out my pages of the pictures that I took. So let me explain what happened. My husband took a ton of pictures with a regular camera. I had my phone, my good old phone, and was snapping away whenever something struck me. And I was Instagramming my way through this trip for 6 days. And so that said, people knew what we were doing, and I had a ton of Instagram photos in my phone, and I decided to do my album in only Instagram photos. So everything that I Instagrammed, I wound up printing, and that's what I have in front of me on yesterday. So that's what this is about. So I knew I had gone through the pocketed page craze, and I have a ton of different layouts. So I just want to show you one little trick that Mercy Tiara, you guys probably know her, we all watch her, we all love her, and she had this little tip where she does her pocketed pages. She makes a template out so that you're not messing with the plastic and it's slippery and it's sliding and all of that stuff. So I did that. So I have one of these for each of the different pages that I have. But, and I don't know if she said this, and I'm pretty sure she probably did, I probably missed it, I'm a goofball, because this is the page on the right hand of the book. Well, when you turn it over, this big giant 6x8 is on the other side. And like a numbskull, I didn't put it on the other side. So if you pick up this tip from here, which I did get from Mercy Tiara, be careful, because if you have oddly laid out and they're not symmetrical, where you can just flip them, then you will need to make one for the back. So I'm going to need to eventually draw out the lines on this side, so when it's on the left side of the book, you can lay it out. So that was something that I learned in this process. So that's my first little share about this. Yes, Instagrams, my trip, Mercy Tiara, and my boo-boo. So, the other thing I wanted to shout out was that a lot of the embellishments on these pages are from a swap that I did in the Will Craft for Supplies Facebook page, which is Maggie Milo's page, and I swapped with Alice, who is Vintage Gal 18. So she had sent me some crafty stuff, craft sticker, chipboard, and some wood veneer that just happened to be perfect. I did a share video on that, but anyway, so I decided to go with that. So I wanted to give her a little quick shout out. So she kind of went along those lines, based off of what she had sent me, and I thought it was awesome. So there are a couple things. Okay, so these are going to be questions as I share out the different things. So anyway, this is, like I said, we are memory keepers. So I have a page which has a 6x8, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 of the, let me move you back, you look a little bit too close, sorry, 4x6s. And so I was playing with this idea of the fact that I used Instagram photos, and so these happen to be the only photos that I didn't get to Instagram, which was pictures of the interior of the main lobby of the lodge area, and also we had a little snafu, and so then I finally got a picture of the sign pointing us in the right direction, and then the picture of the clock because we started our road trip a little bit late. So those are some of the things that we happened to us before I started Instagramming my heart away. So I decided to kind of title this whole thing at Instatrip, and then I put the year 2014, and over here I put the time frame. We were there from June 29th to July 4th. So I have, my brother's texting me. I have this is my front page. So then I was wondering, this is where my question starts to come in. This is the second page. How do you do a trip? So I was like, am I going to be really, really chronological, or I'm going to group them together? So let me just show you some of the things. So this was our one page. This is just like a title page. Oh, and this brings to light, since I was Instagramming everything, I put a lot of hashtags throughout these little mini cards. So I have hashtag family fun. This is the other side with the main title, and then just commenting on, they had the Western motif everywhere. So okay, now on the back of this I have a big one. So I wound up doing a card which I started to talk about the food. I found the food very, very it was good, but it was just so much all the time. So it was like a good part and bad part about it, because the food was there aplenty, but then it was like a sameness. So our adventure was like, you know, wonderful, memorable, challenging, all you can eat, but then all you can eat was also. So that was the best part, and it was also the worst part because it was so regimented. Then I never noticed until almost the last day that our table was table 13. So that might have been an omen. I wrote down the fact that we had about 10 different people at our table. We were all friends and stuff, and some of the things that went on. And again, with the hashtag, it was hashtag yum, hashtag drama. I mean, you have 5 kids there, it's gonna be drama, and hashtag too much food. So that was this side, and then on the other side I just showed, this was like one meal, so it was so much food, and this was just our side of the table. We had like so much food, you know, and it was 3 times a day, and it was all every single day. I mean, it was like ribs and chicken, and it was like, this was one part, and then I moved over and took the picture of what was next to the corn, and then dessert. It was crazy. So I just made comments here and there. So that's my thing. I started with the title page, and then I jumped into the food, and here's some more food stuff, which is more my husband and my daughter. So this is, you know, I did 4x4. I did 6 4x6s, sorry. So some of the glare, and again I have a lot of the chipboard elements, and I also included a hashtag on every single page. So we have my husband and my daughter being silly, my daughter being silly with her food, then her eating, like all the other kids were eating, you know, chicken fingers and french fries. My daughter was like the only one who ventured out. There's always a comment made how my girl just like has this awesome palate, so I had to include that in here. She attacked my plate of mussels. And then of course, by the end of most meals, it was food coma time because it was just so much food. So that's that. And so this is still in the back of that, is still with food. So here we go. They had outdoor barbecues, so my loving family waiting for me. I'm just chilling watching. They're over there on the line because it was crazy. The amount of food that you could just pick up, plates and plates and plates of this. And then, of course, the drama of always spilling. I mean, everybody in that party spilled something on themselves except for Madison until the very last day. But anyway, we also had a snack bar, which was, you can get fries, all kinds of goodies all day long until about 11 o'clock at night. And it was like right down from where we were at our room. And so the girls were going to town. Whenever we passed to get something from the room, can I get an ice cream? Can I get this? Can I get that? It was ridiculous. My daughter having a midnight snack, and then just, you know, a picture of the three of us in the dining hall and hashtag happy family. So that was my back. So all of this was food. So now it's like, okay, well, you ate for 6 days, but honestly, there were other things that happened. So then I started putting together the other pages, and then once you're set into like a design, it was kind of hard to like, where do I stick this? So oddly enough, I have the opening page, I have pages all about the food because it was the best and the worst element, and then I have the page of when we started, when we had just gotten there. So it's a combination of what had happened. So I have this Memory Keepers one that has a 6x12, and look, what is up with that? This just slides right out. I mean, nothing else seems to be sliding out, so this is kind of frustrating. I don't know if anybody has a fix for that. So I'm basically taking a piece of Scotch tape, and I really hate the fact that I have to do that, but it's not that visible, but it's just a little bit of annoyance because now at least won't fall out. But does anybody have a quick fix? What did you guys come across? Did anybody ever use these 6x12 slots? I would love to know how you got these things to stay. So basically, we'll show you this page. And so it shows we had just gotten there. This is me driving after 2.5 hours, mega tired, putting my feet up, and our room number and the cabin that we were in. And just the fact that as soon as we got there, the kids were like, okay, are we there yet? What's the fun? What's going on? So my daughter like just looking around. And then these were one of the veneers that came with the swap from Alice, and it was hashtag summer, which is what kind of led me to the doing that on all the pages. And then I showed, of course, my best friend and my husband taking pictures of the girls. This is in the lobby. They're all on top of these wooden horses. And then a close-up of Madison. It's a little dark for you guys, but we can see it. And then my husband is known as the paparazzi of the family. So I took one of the wood veneers and took a picture of him. I mean, even from a seated position, he's able to find something to take a picture of, which is, you know, the way that he is. But that's what he's good. That's what he's good at. That's what he's known for. And we have all of our pictures for thanks to him. So, okay. So this is us arriving and just being in the lobby. And then the back of this page is actually getting our room. So I just took a picture of the room. You know how we always do that, myself and the bunk beds. So we wound up shoving 6 people into one room with 3 adults and 3 girls, and then the other couple that had 2 children that was with us on the trip, they had their own room and stuff. And it was an experience to say the least. So I just took some pictures and put some little clear stickers and getaway escape and things like that. And so that ended the part about our, you know, getting the room. And so then I wasn't sure where to go, and then I started to think about what we did. And so I did these 3 because these 3s were kind of like bland, but these were the adult things that went on, which is kind of silly because it was games. But every day we would get an itinerary, and so I took a picture of one of those, and I do have them saved, and I'm going to put them in a scrapbook in a different way. We played the games. They would have adult games, and we would play Pictionary and what was the other one? Bingo and Family Feud. So, you know, I took pictures of the winning card of bingo that I had, and then they would give out these things called Pinegrove bucks, and we used them to buy souvenirs. So we didn't spend any real extra money because we were making money as we were there. So that was fun. So that was the adult thing that we did when we weren't shuttling the kids all over and taking them to everything that they wanted to do. And so this page has some of the highlights of my daughters. There was a lot to do. There was the pool, but of course I don't have any photos of the pool because you can't take the phone to the pool and get sweat and all that other worriness. But some of the things that we also did that were more special was the horseback riding, or rather pony rides. As I wrote a little bit here, because my daughter and her little friends, and a hashtag best buddies, they were able to go to a day camp as well when we were there. So twice during the trip we were able to like have adult time and not have to worry about them being like, what are we doing? We're bored, whatever, because there were camp counselors on the site that took them out. So this is my girl on a pony, and just a little story about how she rode 2 different ponies while she was there. One was called Marshmallow and the other one was called Toad, and this is a picture of Toad. And this is her and the my best friend's daughters, we were all sharing the room, so they're like best buds. So I have a whole little thing, and this is like the kids stuff. The other special thing was the lake, and so I have a picture that I blew up. This is pretty good given that it was a phone. My husband and my daughter on the paddle boats all the way out in the lake, and they were trying to fish, but it seems as if those fish have been trained to eat hot dogs and we didn't have any. So there's a little story to that. This is me looking oh so happy because the days were long for our vacation. 7 o'clock morning, wake up, you have to be at the dinner, you have to be at breakfast at 8, you had dinner at a certain time, you had lunch at a certain time. It was ridiculous. So as much as I would have loved to stay in bed, it was take a shower, get dressed in something decent, and then take the kids to whatever show was going on. And this was one of the shows that was going on, which was a magician show, and my daughter was called up to be an assistant, so I had to take several pictures, and this was a cute one. Like, she didn't know what was going on, and so that was that. And so these were the 3, I mean, besides the pool and all the other stuff, that were kind of like highlights that I had Instagrams. And then finally I had like a final page. So it was really hot over there, so one day I had taken a screenshot showing that 8 o'clock in the morning it was already 70. I don't know, to me that's a lot. So I made some comment about it almost being like halfway through, and these were our days. And then I had found this card that was a part of a Project Life, kind of like a snap, a Smashbook snap kind of card set. And exciting things happen when you least expect it, and we really did have a great time. So I hashtag success, I'd do it again, and happy kids, because it was all about the kids. So that was the kind of like ending page, and just like a little synopsis of, you know, she's back and she's already asking me when we're going back. A picture of my husband, because he was so happy that he was able to at least see some of the World Cup games when we were there. They were watching those. And me, it was a nice shot during one of the days that we had just woken up, and I think I looked so relaxed there, and it was like, okay, you know, it was a nice trip. So that is my trip. And so these little things, I don't know if anybody noticed them and maybe thought that they seemed out of place with all the craft and the wood, is because I had those pinwheels that you blow. I had 3 of them attached to the car, and we drove up and back, and they barely survived the trip. So I took little pieces of the pieces that remained, and put them into the pages. So there's a little bit of those flecks on every single page or every single spread. So basically that was my share. I know it was a bit long, and I appreciate you watching it. I hope you'll like the video, or if you have any comments or you have any suggestions about how to keep these 6x12 sheets from falling out, the half ones. And also, how do you organize your trips? I mean, what did you think of this organization method for my little Insta trip to Pinegrove Dude Ranch? Anyway, thanks for watching, and remember that crafting's not a spectator sport, and we need to get our hands dirty. So I had fun, and I hope you liked it. So thank you very much. Goodbye.